Hello, I'm Alex and welcome back to my channel. I'm just going to chat to you today about some of the things that I've been making for the summer. I've got a couple of sewing bits and some projects, some knitting projects that you might have seen if you've watched some of my previous episodes. I've nearly finished one of the cardigans that I was working on, and I've got a shawl and some socks that I've been knitting. So I'm going to jump straight in and I'm going to chat to you about what I'm wearing, because this is one of the first pieces, and it's the Adelia. Well, it's supposed to be a dress and it's by the Hemming, but they have a hack on their blog for making it into a top. So I've done it in this really drapey viscose that I got at Minerva Crafts, and yeah, I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I've just done very sort of subtle buttons. You can see like really simple sort of little shell buttons, and the only modification I made was a little bit to the neck. I actually raised it up because it was quite low on me. I'm quite petite and it was a bit too low, so I've actually just took out a little piece of the neck pattern just to make it a little bit sort of, I don't know, I didn't want it to be too low cut. I think it's just the right point here, and that was a really simple thing to do because it's got a very simple sort of boxy sleeve to it. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how this came out. It's my first time using a pattern from the Hemming, and it was a really smooth process, so I was quite pleased that it comes together really nicely. It's got you can see it's got like a facing, so it has a nice neat edge and has quite a wide cuff that hangs really nicely, and I guess because they're quite drapey sleeves, then you don't see the inside seam. It sort of gives a little bit of a faced effect as well. But yeah, the hack was really easy to follow on their blog, as I said, and I'd really recommend the pattern. So that was one of the things that I've sewn for my sort of summer handmade wardrobe. And the other thing is a pair of shorts, which is not what I'd usually go for, but I thought these were really cute. They're quite simple. I'm not sure how well they show up because of the white, but yeah, can you see that? They've got a really lovely pocket detail and they're elasticated, so it's a really simple sew. And you can see that it's actually, the waistband just flipped over, so it's very easy to do that, and it's a really nice easy pattern to follow as well. These are the Bellbird shorts, and that is by Common Stitch, and the fabric I've used is actually a linen cotton blend that's also from Minerva Crafts. I think it's a John Caldor, I think that's the name of the manufacturer. And yeah, they do really nice fabrics, and I think because it's got a little bit of cotton, it's not just linen, they actually don't crease as much as I thought they would. But my favourite detail is this pocket. I mean, there's nothing really to them, but they're a really nice shape, and yeah, as I said, it was quite an easy sew as well. Just with having the elasticated waist, it just makes it so much easier to fit. I actually ended up sizing down from what I would usually pick, so if you were going for this pattern, I think I'd maybe would recommend, I mean, I muslined mine and I went for the small, which already I thought would give me some I mean, it was going to be a nice stretchy fit, so I wasn't worried about it being too tight, but I thought I'd go for the small. Could have maybe even gone for the medium when I was toiling it, but I actually ended up then taking some out the side seams, and basically my pattern ended up being the extra small once I've made all my tweaks. So if I was to do these again, I'd just cut straight from the extra small, which is sizing down for me. So yeah, I think just because they're a really nice loose fit, I just think sizing down just meant there wasn't too much extra material, and it's still got a really nice loose fit. I'll have to get some photos taken in these soon so that you can see the fit, but yeah, it's still got a nice loose fit and it's really comfortable on the waistband. I guess because you sort of use the elastic and you make it to fit your waist, so yeah, it doesn't dig in or anything, it's perfect. And then the extra material is just gathered up around the elastic. So yeah, I was really pleased with how those turned out, and it was my first time. I haven't sewn trousers or anything, so I think shorts is probably a good first step if you're wanting to have a venture into the whole world of trousers, and dare I say it, jeans, because that's something that's a bit on my radar, is doing jeans, although I think that's something that I have got a jeans pattern, but I haven't, and I've even got the denim for it, but I haven't actually had a go at making my own jeans yet. So I think that's something for another day though. So those are the two bits that I've been sewing this month, and I've got I'll show you these first. I finished one of my pairs of socks, and I think I was showing you, I can't remember, I think I might have finished one of these last time, but it's a really nice, just simple. I made them shorties so that they would fit into my boots, because I keep rolling all my hand knit socks down, or folding them down, so that they don't peek out the top. I've got like a little pair of ankle boots, and although I'm not wearing them loads at the moment, I know in the winter I'll have those out again. So this was a really nice length that just fits inside my boots. But I have shown these before, and they are by Stranded Dye Works, is the dyer behind the yarn, and the colourway is the Industrial Kingfisher, which is a superwash merino blend. I'll give you a look at how it looks in the ball. So it's really lovely. I love all those colours. But yeah, so I'm pleased with how those turned out, and these have not even been blocked yet, and you can see the even without blocking, they're still quite nice, and I think they'll be a little bit more drapey, but you can see the stitches are so nice and even. It's a really nice yarn. I've used hers before, and the socks have been really long lasting, and they keep their shape and colour and everything, so I'm really pleased to have those off the needles. And the other project that I've been working on is, I'll show you this quickly. I feel like there's probably not much difference to see from the last time I showed you. This is in one of my little block printed bags, and it is the Pebble Beach shawl, and I've shown you this a few times, but the only thing to note is that I've got to the point where, can you see that the eyelets are not so spaced apart now? So you can see the pattern starting to emerge. I think when I podcast last time it was sort of more like down here, so you can actually see that although it doesn't feel like it's onto the shawl, I have made progress, and I think I'm up to, the designer behind this is Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade, and she has a really great system where all her patterns have stitch counts at the end, and they give a percentage as well, so I know that I'm 70% done with this. So I have made quite a bit of progress since I saw you last time. And the yarn I'm using is Woolly Mammoth Fibre Co, and I'm pretty sure, I haven't got the ball band, but I think it's the Masham BFL blend. I'll give you a little look at that. You can see that I've been making progress because my ball's gone really, really flat. I think because I'm doing centre pulls, so you start with your ball on nice and fluffy, and then as you're pulling from the centre it sort of gets flatter and flatter. So I'm pleased with how that's coming along. That's been a nice sort of like smaller project for in the evenings when I haven't wanted to work on my cardigan. And I'll give you a look at the picture. That's the Pebble Beach shawl, if you haven't seen me talking about this before. But yeah, this is in an old book I've mentioned. It was from the Unwind Brighton, which was in 2014. So it shows how long I've had that pattern. And it is my second time knitting this shawl. So yeah, I'm working my way through that one. It's quite a nice light summer project, so I've been enjoying that and enjoying the yarn, as I've said in other episodes before. That's really lovely yarn. And I will show you my cardigan. I thought I was almost going to be able to show you a finished cardigan, but not quite. I've got this in my big sweater sack. You can see it's really, really full because it's got a whole cardigan, and I think I've still got some balls left. But this is the Truss cardigan by Melissa Well, which is a Brooklyn tweed pattern, and as you can see I've finished both sleeves, although I'm not sure how well this will show up, but this cuff I've done the tubular bind off, and this cuff I've done a regular bind off, and I'm not sure if you can see that, but I think it looks much neater with just a normal bind off. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to unravel the last few rows of the tubular bind off, and I'm just going to work a regular bind off. So, oh, I can't get this straight. It has a really nice shape on the back, which I've shown you before. I shouldn't keep saying I've shown you before, because this might be your first time watching. If it is, hello and welcome. I've got, yeah, it's got this really lovely rib texture, and if you're wearing it from the side, you'll see that the point, there we go, that point is going up to the underarm, and it's got this little split in the hem. So all I need to do now is pick up all the stitches for the button band, and although it'll be a lot of stitches, it's not actually a lot of rows. It's got a ribbed section. Let me have a look and see if I got the pattern photo. Yeah, that will give you a little idea of what that looks like. So yeah, and also you probably noticed when I first pulled this out, I actually had the sleeves cuffed, which I can't decide if I want to keep them cuffed or if I want to unravel a few lines and have them a bit shorter, but it looks quite cute with them rolled up. So I think I'm going to leave them like that for now until I've blocked it all, and then I can make a decision, because it's not going to be a lot of extra work just to unravel. I think for these cuffs I only did 10 rows of ribbing, so it works up really quickly. It's a worsted weight yarn. It's the Fiberco Canopy worsted, which I always feel bad mentioning, but it's actually a discontinued yarn, so it's not one that you can get from them anymore, but it's a really, really nice blend. And I'll put in the show notes. If you want to look at the show notes, I'll have them over on my blog, which the link will be down below this video, but if you go to alexcollinsdesigns.com/blog, you'll see them there. But if you'd also like to get the show notes to your inbox, I send out an email every time I upload a new video, letting you know that there's video there, and I put all the show notes right there in the email. So I talk about all the yarns that I've used, what the pattern names are, and I give links for everything. So that's been really popular. So if that's something you'd like, click below this video, you'll see there's a link there so you can sign up and get a notification when I put up a new video, and I'll link things like this, like with what yarn I've been using. So although I was going to hang on and see if I could finish this before I did my next video, I thought that's kind of unrealistic, because although I don't know about you, but whenever I do this kind of project, I think, oh yeah, all I've got to do is the button band, and it's only, I don't know, 6 rows of ribbing including the buttonhole. But it takes quite a while, because I've got to like have an evening when I feel like I've got the brain power firstly to like pick up the stitches, and then I've got to block it, and you know what it's like. It'll probably be another week, and I thought, no, I really want to show you what I've been working on. So although I don't have any new knits on the needles, which I hope you don't mind, I'm really close, and next time hopefully I'll have something. I've actually ordered a kit from Wool and the Gang. I've never had anything from them before, but one of my friends, Claire of Sister Mountain, she has done one of their bags. It's million something, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's one of their Rara Raffia bags. So they have this sort of paper almost yarn that you can crochet into. They have loads of different patterns, but the one I've picked is a really nice, almost like a little shopper, and I've got it in a lovely cinnamony kind of orangey browny colour, and I ordered that a couple of days ago. So by the time I do another video, which will be in about a month's time, hopefully it'd be great if it was finished, but if not, I'll definitely have that project to show you. So I've got things coming, and definitely as soon as I've got this cardigan, I'll want to cast on another garment, because that's what I really enjoy knitting, is the garments. So I'll be doing that. And the other thing I'm really quickly going to chat about this, because I feel like I don't know if there's too much to say, but somebody kindly put in the comments that they noticed this quilt that I always have in the back of my shots, and they were asking me about how I'd made, was it handmade, and if I could talk about how it was made. And basically it's the most simple quilt you could make, so it's really cool. It's great if you want to just have, if there's like a fabric that you really like and you just want to do something simple with it and have it as a throw or picnic blanket. But really, like this, it's the kind of thing that I'll just throw in my bag if I want to go outside and I know we're going to be sitting on grass, that kind of thing. And all it is I think I did this with 1.5 meters of fabric, and I've got just 2 colours. So it's actually the same fabric but in 2 different colourways, which I think is quite cool. And I made this years ago, so I wouldn't even know who the designer was, what the fabric was. I know that the binding is actually like a linen, so I machine stitched on one side and then hand stitched the binding on the other side, and they've got these like mitered corners, which I think the material is getting a bit old and discoloured now, but yeah, it's a really, really simple make. And all I did, I'm not sure if it'll pick it up very well on the camera. I feel like the fabric is too busy. If I move it slowly, the light might catch them, but to do the quilting, so I've got a layer of the orange fabric, a layer of batting, a layer of the pink fabric, and then I've sewn literally from one long side to the other long side in irregular sort of straight lines, but none of them are straight. So it's a really nice simple beginner's quilt. If you haven't tried quilting before and you've got a fabric that you'd like to use, that's all that you need. And it really helps if you've got like a walking foot, that will make it really easy. But you just want a really long stitch, and as I say, I went from one side to the other, back and forwards, backwards and forwards, and I tried to keep them sort of irregular, and I didn't actually go from point to point, so I'd maybe go one way, then leave a bit of a gap, and then go another way. So look at, will it show up? I have no idea if it's picking it up. I feel like it's probably not, because the white stitching is probably not showing up. But yeah, as somebody asked about that, I thought I'd just give you a little chat about how I made that quilt. And as I say, I made it a really long time ago and I'm still using it. I quite often just have it on the back of the sofa. That, as I say, it rolls up. I've used, I think I already said this, but I use 1.5 meters for each side, and you can see like it rolls up really small, like it's small enough that I could roll it up like that and put it in a tote bag, take it to the beach. Not that I go to the beach very often, but or to the park, that kind of thing. And yeah, it's a really nice simple project. If you just, maybe you haven't done quilting in ages and you want to have a go at it again, this would be like a really nice project to work on. So that's all my makes that I was going to chat about. But I have got one more thing to mention, and that's I have some new bags coming to the shop, which I'm quite excited about. And I actually have a new colour, not just the new print, which, let me show you, you can see it's green. But I think if you have been following my shop for a while, you'll know that I nearly always, it's either a pale blue or a pale grey, this sort of cross weave fabric. I don't know how well it would pick up, but can you see it's like the fabric, it has different warp and weft threads, and yeah, and there's slightly different colours, so it gives it a really nice tonal quality. So I have my new summer bags, green bottoms, and this new little berry print. So I've got these. I thought they'd be really, really sweet for summer. I've actually got on my balcony a strawberry plant, so I was trying to use that to help me do my drawings, and I took some photos right up close. So I was trying to, obviously they're not realistic drawings because that's not my style. I like this kind of like very simple look, but I definitely use that as a reference for trying to get the composition right. So yeah, these are coming to the shop really soon, and to accompany the drawstring bags, which are usually everybody's favourite, I actually have done some other sizes. You'll know that with my seasonal bags, I usually have a drawstring bag, and I do the DPN cozies, which these are great for if you're sock knitting or you've got something on DPNs, you can use that to stop your stitches falling off your needle. And these sock sacks are like the perfect size for travelling with socks or really small projects. So you can see it's just got a little strawberry motif on the side. And yeah, actually if I got, so you can see like that probably shows you a good scale of like you'd have your ball of yarn in there and your socks, and that's just about the right size. So I've got these, and then in addition to those, which are kind of the staple bag sizes in my shop, I've done these notion pouches for the first time in one of my seasonal collections. So far I've got autumn, winter and spring bags that I've done each season, and they just stay in the shop for that season. So I've done a really small one, which is the perfect size for notions. So you've got your snips and spare, like your needle that you use for weaving in your ends, tape measure, T-pins, all those things will fit in there nicely. And I've done the sweater size sack, which I think lots of you will be really pleased about, because I get a lot of questions when I've done other styles, like my spring bees bag and the winter woods bag. People are always asking, oh, have you got that print in the sweater sack? And in previous years I haven't, because it requires a bigger screen to do these larger panels. So it's probably a bit funny because it hasn't got anything in it, but you can see it has my, where is that? I probably should have shown you it was open, but on the back side it has my logo, and then on the front, yeah, it has quite a big panel. And yeah, it's really, really good for sweaters, or if you've got a sock blanket project, any of those kind of things. These bags are brilliant, and as you saw, I was using it for my trust cardigan. It fit that whole cardigan, loads of balls of wool. It's a really, really good size. So I'm excited to announce that those are going to be coming to the shop. If you are one of my subscribers, you might have already had the email saying that pre-orders are open, because my subscribers always get a advance pre-order notice so they can get their bags first. And for everybody else, just keep watching or subscribe to my email so that you get the update when the shop is restocked with all the new styles. And yeah, I'm really excited to be making those. I haven't done a new bag for a while, and I'm really excited to hear what you think about the new colour. I'd love your feedback on that, because I really like the simplicity of having a collection like the blue and the grey. I was really, really happy with, but I thought for this summer collection it would be really nice to, I thought it was really fitting with the strawberry print to have the green. So yeah, I'm interested to hear what you think about having a different colour on the bottom. So I think that's everything. I've had a good blether about all the projects that I've been making. There hasn't been too much new knitting stuff, but a couple of projects nearly finished. My socks are off the needles, and I'm really happy with the bits that I've been sewing. I'm definitely going to make some more of these tops. I'm not sure how much fabric I used, but it was, I'd be interested to see if I could fit this, because it's quite cropped, out of 1 metre. I'll have to look, 'cause the fabric that I cut it from, it was a 2-metre length that I had in my stash. So I'd be quite interested, because it is a cropped length. I might be able to squeeze it out 1 metre, but yeah, I'm going to order some more fabric so I can do some more of these, because it's really nice and light and very airy. I like this kind of like loose drapey style in the summer when it's hot, because it just keeps you really cool, and I don't really like wearing close fitting garments, especially in the heat. So although we haven't had much heat, it's quite warm today, but it hasn't been a brilliant summer in the UK. So I won't bore you with talking about the weather though, because that's what we're always doing. I feel like it's either too hot, it's too cold. Everybody's always talking about the weather, and it's not that interesting. So I'll leave it here, and I'll chat to you soon. As I said before, you can catch up with all the things I've been talking about. There'll be show notes over on the blog. There'll be links below. You can sign up to the mailing list if you want to be notified when the new bags go in the shop. And also when new videos come in, you'll get all that news as well. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.